The one thing that sucks about us recording ahead for this podcast is we do miss stuff, unfortunately. Like this week, Tokyo Game Show is going to happen after we record this episode. And same thing with last week. We got a bunch of stuff, particularly with Netflix, a lot of trailers for their animation stuff. I don't know if you guys caught any of it, but the big one for me, of course, was Devil May Cry, baby. That shit was awesome. I know some people aren't going to be a fan. I forget the guy's name, but the guy that's the showrunner for Castlevania. I know a good amount of people don't like that show, but you know what that show has? Really good animation for the fight scenes, and we got that with the trailer, man.
Yeah, I feel like I see the art style a little too often now. I'll give you that. Yeah, the animation for like the fight scenes and all, like I guess what I want to say is like the scenes like we see in the trailer, like him like like trying to maneuver throughout like the debris of the airplane through the fucking through the air, like all that shit is really rad. You wouldn't have seen any of that. Yeah, pretty much. You wouldn't have seen any of that in the I don't know if you're familiar with the old Devil May Cry anime. It was like 13 episodes, I think.
Yes.
Yeah, it was pretty rad. Yeah, but this definitely looks like a step up. So I'm looking forward to it. It looks pretty awesome.
Same. This looks so hype.
Yeah, if you keen in on a lot of stuff that's being shown in the teaser, there's a lot. One is it's a younger Dante. The biggest key is the rabbit guy. That guy is from the fucking Devil May Cry 3 manga.
Wild.
So this is a potential follow-up to the manga, which is crazy. And then we do see what are their names? Magni and Modi?
Yeah, the Thor's kids.
Oh, sorry, Agni and Rudra. Close enough. They rhyme. But yeah, Agni and Rudra, they're two devils that you fight in 3, and then you get their weapons. They're the twin blades.
I remember those two. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a shot where Dante's on the highway in the daytime, and you see them on the trucks, like in the background. And it's like, oh shit, so we might see them fight in this? That's going to be awesome.
That would be fucking rad.
Yeah.
I wonder if the monsters will have any like the kind of crazy and obscene personalities that they have sometimes like in the game. Like I don't remember their exact personalities, but I remember them being like a little crazy and like playful with each other, but at the same time, like ready to fuck Dante up.
And then also, he doesn't have Ebony or Ivory. Again, like, yeah, a younger Dante. The only thing I'm like it's just weird. Like, I don't know if I'm disappointed or not. Like, I get it's supposed to be a younger Dante. So the voice actor they picked is Johnny Young Bosch.
Yes.
That's just kind of weird because he's Nero.
Yeah.
It could be a number of things, right? Johnny Young Bosch does a lot of voice acting, and mostly like on shows and stuff. He does Ichigo, of course. So it kind of makes sense like to pick him, and he's already tied to the series. And then the other side is Ruben Langdon, right? He's our man for Dante. He's kind of probably not going to be Dante anymore, which sucks a lot because of his whole, I don't know, he has like that, I think it was like anti-vax stance he did like a few years back. The first sign of that was he didn't return as Ken for Street Fighter 5, or sorry, for Street Fighter 6. But to be fair, some voice actors got changed in that game. So it's like, okay, that, that happens. It's a fighting game. And then, the director for Devil May Cry said like, oh, don't worry, like we'll keep Ruben on, like he is Dante. Well, if we're gonna do DMC6 or whatever, he'll be our guy. And I'm like, yes, please. But he left Capcom, so who knows if they're ever gonna get Ruben back. That's really gonna suck if he's not Dante anymore.
Featuring the voice of Nero from the Devil May Cry series.
That's right.
I know that we have like voice actors who are pretty synonymous with like certain voices, like Steve Bloom and just the usual heavy hitters. But this is probably a good segue for them to bring in somebody new. Factually, the way I see it is like, we're only getting older. Our voices are going to change. If they decide to make new games, there's always a chance that they can redo the IP, make a younger Dante, just kind of bring everything back again. And if that's the case, then he's going to need to have a new voice, because they're going to do more than one series. So it's kind of a shit thing, but at the same time, we'll kind of leave it up to them to make sure that we get a good Dante.
Yeah, but again, it's just weird that it's Johnny because he's Nero. So like if they ever get Nero, it's like, well, what are they going to do? He's going to play both characters?
So far from the trailer, it sounds like Dante, he has his attitude.
Yeah, I mean, because like Nero's just, Sparta Jr.
Yeah, he's definitely Kid Dante, like for sure.
So it's like similar already, you know.
So I guess in a comment on the trailer, someone pointed that out. Like, it's just jarring to hear Nero come out of Dante. And Johnny Young Bosch actually replied to it. He's like, yeah, imagine how I felt when Adi Shankar, that's the showrunner, told me he wrote the role for me to play Dante. And then he mentioned that Ruben did quit acting, I guess, but he's determined to drag him back at some point. But yeah, if they do DMC6, yeah, he needs to come back. The other stuff they showed off was Tomb Raider, The Legend of Lara Croft. That show looks great. And then we have Haley Atwell doing the voice for Lara, which is perfect.
Who is she in?
She's Peggy Carter. Yeah, honestly, like perfect casting for the voice.
I'm all about friendship.
Fucking 360 no scope with the shotgun.
That's right.
This is definitely the Tomb Raider from Fortnite.
They gave her pants. I need at least one leg showing, and it doesn't have to be up to the fucking hip. It could be like past the knee.
You know, I think we talked about this a couple of years ago when we were talking about JoJo, like the later parts of JoJo. But it's kind of really funny how like I'm kind of seeing the same like phenomenon that you were seeing back then, kind of like with Same Face. Like I see like what I was just saying, like the art style between Devil May Cry and Tomb Raider, and like I feel like all of the Netflix animated series are all gonna kind of have the same art style. It just already kind of looks this way. I could definitely see the crossovers.
They can't all be the same studio, right?
No, so Studio Mirror is doing Devil May Cry, and then Powerhouse is doing Tomb Raider. Powerhouse is a good studio.
What else did they do?
Yeah, so they did Castlevania, and I believe they also did the Sonic Origin cinematics. That's pretty cool. They did the Masters of the Universe show that no one liked, that Kevin Smith wrote. Yes, they did Seis Manos. I don't know if you guys ever saw that.
Yeah, I saw that.
I think I'll remember that.
Good.
Yeah, that was a couple years ago. Damn, dog. Seis Manos is fucking dope.
I'm actually kind of surprised it's not Devil May Cry, because I could see them doing that too. It's very, kind of similar vibes to Castlevania. Oh, you know what, Oscar? I'll give you points about the whole Same Face thing.
Thanks.
Because this guy, Adi Shankar, a lot of people are like, oh, this is our guy, before they started hating on Castlevania, because he was talking about like how much he loves like Castlevania and like all these other games, specifically Devil May Cry. And he's like, yeah, I would love to do a Devil May Cry show. And then he kind of like mentioned something along the lines of wanting to do a crossover with Castlevania.
There needs to be more. I would be open for that, because honestly, I think we also talked about this before too, but like I wouldn't mind if they brought back collaborations. Not all collaborations are hitters, right? And that's what we talked about last time. But I feel like with good planning, good time, and good sources, like they could do like a proper one, and one that would play well into both stories. I feel because there's a lot of like magic and science, arcane, like a lot of things that they can do and say to use to mix up anything with Castlevania, really.
Yeah, so that'd be pretty crazy if they could do something like that, which, it's Konami and Capcom, so that's going to be, I don't know, like, how tricky that is. I didn't watch the trailer for this yet. They also announced a Splinter Cell series, which is kind of crazy, because I don't know who's asking for that.
Me.
I kind of
asking for it.
I'm kind of asking for it.
I
don't
just
know, I
needed
wanted
a
it.
remaster, but if this brings back more people to like into the game, then I'm down for this. Like, Sam Fisher is such a dope fucking spy. He's great.
My dad's gonna watch this. I'm gonna make him watch this.
Oh, what? Liev Schreiber is Sam Fisher? Okay, you know what? I'm down for this.
Ooh, wait a minute. If the animation's gonna be like that,
This is a super old version of Sam.
Yeah, so just a teaser trailer for it. Yeah, crazy to see that Netflix is, like, they're so heavy into the anime stuff, and now they're really diving into video game stuff. They also, like, showed off one of the trailers for the final part for Arcane, and I think that was it. Like, these are like the big 4 video game stuff they're doing. Another animated thing they showed off, which is just kind of cool, was Twilight of the Gods. This is Zack Snyder's Greek mythology animation. As a different art style, kind of fits with the Nordic times.
part of the Snyderverse.
It reminds me of the paintings and pictures that they would decorate on like all of the vases and stuff like that.
Yeah, looks pretty cool, man. I'm curious to see like how Zack Snyder tackles an animation production.
I'll probably give it a shot.
Let's see if there's a lot of slow-mo in this.
And then like the last big thing was they teased Cyberpunk Season 2. But there's like literally nothing. It was just like the logo glitching.
It doesn't say Edge Runners. So whatever it's going to be doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be a continuation of It's just going to be like another show. I think what they might do is try to rope in plots from the game into the next season, because I feel like they spent kind of a big budget with the DLC with Idris Elba, and it would just kind of make sense that they want to try to bring people back in to kind of, you know, go more towards the DLC.
I don't remember, but didn't they like mention David or Lucy in the game in some capacity?
Once the series came out, like once they were done with Edge Runners, they released an update where they put a couple of the things from the show into the game. So you could do a quest, and at the end of the quest, you can find David's jacket. You can get Rebecca's shotgun. I think there was something about Lucy. I don't actually remember. You know, everything is always left like vague anyway. Like there's no like real cut and dry like, oh yeah, this is what ended up happening to them.
Maybe they could just do an anthology of Cyberpunk. That would probably be fine.
I liked the overall story for Cyberpunk. Like it was just really like gritty, full of corporate espionage, and you know, it was just really good. It was a good time. So hopefully, you know, they don't do a repeat of The Last of Us Part 2 and they just have to reuse characters that they don't need to use. They can just use brand new characters with a brand new story, and we should be good.
So that's all the Netflix stuff. The new Yakuza game got announced. Freaking Yakuza, or is it like a pirate?
It's like a dragon pirate Yakuza.
That's what it is, yeah. In Hawaii. Such a generated title. But it's gonna be so fucking good, and I can't believe like Majima finally has his own game now.
I'm not gonna lie, I did not want to watch this trailer. Like a 7-minute trailer was kind of too long for me, and I was like, I'm just gonna wait until the game comes out for real, because
it's I love the meme name for it. It's like a dragon, the man who forgot his name. As the premise is, Majima wakes up in Hawaii and he has amnesia, and then he just ends up being a pirate.
There's a fucking tiger cub. Yep, they're going right into the plot for Like a Dragon 7 or Like a Dragon 8.
Oh, really?
Yo,
it is now
What the
full-on Devil May Cry shit in Yakuza. This is what I've wanted, man. This is fucking crazy. And of course, the biggest thing with the combat is there's now jump attacks. So we're really at another level with this game. Pirate Yakuza.
This is so
dude.
insane, man.
And it's dropping February.
I'm not gonna lie, bringing back the sandbox beat 'em up was such a necessity in the Hawaii map.
We should have known this was coming. Like, yeah, they built all the new maps and stuff for Hawaii. Like, yeah, why not use it?
They really just turned this into a Muso game, though.
No, it's not a Muso. It's just a beat 'em up, or it's a character action.
At that point, like watching what he was doing just now on the pirate ship doesn't look any different to me than like Dynasty Warriors. Just give him a crowd of mobs and just watch him just do his combos.
To me, I don't know. It feels more Devil May Cry. Just the way the combos are going and you can switch styles like that. Yeah, it's pure character action. It's kind of changing now, right? Like, we got the state of play in it. We saw Dynasty Warriors, and boy, did the gameplay look crazy. It looks so different from what, like, the last Muso game I played.
Yeah, the Dynasty Warriors Origins game, the gameplay that I saw for it, it did look more like cinematic centered, because there are lots of moments where you're basically like having the camera like force kind of like a scene to play out as you're like in the middle of the mission. So he'll be doing stuff like wading through water, and then all of a sudden like it'll cut to like a cannon being fired or something like that. And so there are like new like aspects that they're including to not make it feel more generic as the standard Muso usually goes for like the last 15-20 years with all the other Dynasty and Samurai Warrior projects that they've made. And it's cool. Like, I don't really think it's a bad thing. It makes me think that they're kind of going back to like what they did during like one of the early Samurai Warriors games. I think it was like Samurai Warriors 2. They made the story centered around like a custom character. I think that they basically wanted to take that idea without having you create your own character and just kind of give you a generic character and say, hey, look, this is going to be like a, like a one size fits all kind of character. Like it makes me think of like, I can't say this for sure because I didn't really see enough of the gameplay. It makes me think of like your avatar from Street Fighter, how you can just kind of give them anybody's fighting style and just kind of change it whenever. The way that I kind of see that this game progresses, you start off with 1 or 2, you meet people, you ally with them, you learn their fighting style, and then you go through the game learning more fighting styles as you get more allies. I mean, that's just speculation, but that's probably how it's going to be. It's cool, though. It looks It does remind me of Devil May Cry to the point where, like, you know, he can be doing all these combos and then switching styles or weapons, you know, like seamlessly right then and there. The only thing that they're missing is the style counter.
And then also, you know, honestly, like, the amount of enemies you're fighting, that's how it's always been in Yakuza.
Yeah, the only gimmick fight that wasn't like that, I think, was Yakuza 2 or Yakuza 3. The one where he's in the pier and he fights like 100 guys or something like that.
Oh, that's 2.
Yeah, that's 2. That was the only like gimmick fight that I can think of where they like spam mobs on you. Oh, other than all the Millennium Tower fights.
We can talk about State of Play, but let's talk about something else that was separate from it. The fucking Heihachi trailer dropped.
It's tea time, baby.
Yeah, he's back. Freaking his theme songs goes hard. His drip is hard.
Dude, his character intro. Have you seen the way he talks to Kazuya in the fucking beginning?
This man is made of pure hatred and muscle.
Yeah.
The dude, as soon as he comes out, I'm taking him straight into the character creator.
Oh yeah, man.
yeah.
I'm gonna make him so fucking goofy.
You know, I don't know why it
man.
didn't click for me until now. Thinking like, oh, not even a volcano can kill him. I was like, oh yeah, just like his dad, Jinpachi. And then you think like, oh yeah, like Jin and Kazuya, they're devils. Like literally have devil blood. Heihachi's just a guy.
It's genetic. They're immune to volcanoes.
I'm pretty confident that I could say Taijin from Gata High School, right? Mori's grandfather. He's probably based off of Heihachi.
Oh, legit, yeah.
Yeah, all his new stuff just looks crazy.
He makes himself incredibly red for like the span of a few seconds.
Hell yeah, dude.
He really does go gear second. That's what he got out of being thrown out of volcano.
Yeah. He has a scar on his chest from Kazuya at the
It's
end
a
of 7.
fist, dude.
And it glows.
It's so cool, man. It's just forever imprinted in the center of his chest. God, that's fucking dope, man.
So cool.
Somebody's gonna have that as a tattoo. It's straight up the fucking iron fist on their heart. So, was he trying to kill Kazuya because he was the devil? Or is it just because he's evil and he hates his son?
No, just because they hate each other.
Oh, okay. Even when he was a kid? That's fucked up, dude.
7 did mention that he did have like a responsibility to end Kazuya because of that devil gene. He's like, I made a monster, damn it.
Yeah, well, but they also been fighting for the Zaibatsu for, you know, years through all the games. So it's just a matter of time where they'll just fight each other to the death.
Look at that costume.
Dude, his third costume's so cool. Like, the Tekken monks is just such a wild...
It's so cool, man.
thing.
They all just practice the fucking wave dash and the Dorias.
I know, they all
It's
do
insane.
they all do the fucking wave dash. It's so good.
and then, yeah, we got to look at the next chapter into the story.
Oh, yeah, buddy.
It's Lydia, Nina, and Yoshimitsu are hanging out with Heihachi. And also, Heihachi is dropping for early access on the 30th. Which he should be out by the time you're hearing this. If not, October 3rd is when he officially comes out, and then the new battle pass and stuff.
Yeah, man, I think I might actually practice Heihachi, because I don't really kind of like Kazuya, and it seems like Heihachi kept all of his, or if not most of his moves from the previous games. I feel like the Dorias come easier.
What are we doing, Gerry?
All right, enough of this.
Yeah,
enough
let's
of
go. Before we get lost again.
Yeah, so we got another State of Play for this year. I gotta say, this one was actually good. We got a lot of announcements that were pretty solid. Most of it looked pretty good. The only other things, like, there's just a couple VR games. I'm like, okay, whatever. But starting off strong with Astrobot, new DLC, free DLC.
Either this month or next month. They said it's going to be fall, so that's kind of in this. We're already in the fall season.
And it's just like a bunch of like challenge levels, new little Astrobots to save.
It's a Helldivers and Stellar Blade for the first two. There's supposed to be a total of 10 new ones.
Yeah.
So they released just the first 8. But did the Helldiver
Little cute
look
ass.
so cash, bro?
Yeah, he's so cool.
Bro, Astrobot is just Sackboy of 2024.
And he's fucking floss dancing. Like, just
Yeah,
give me
there
more,
was
man.
there was that meme I shared a while back where it was like a passing of the torch of like Luffy, of Ace to Luffy, and it's Sackboy to Astrobot.
Yep.
Oh, dude, yeah, All Stars 2. They're definitely going to put Astrobot in there with Sackboy.
Yeah, that's... Don't get my hopes up, man. Don't do this to me. But pretty awesome that, it's doing great, and the fact that they're already working on, like, this free DLC is awesome. The next game was The Midnight Walk. So these are the developers that did Lost in Random. I played that game for a little bit. I regretfully didn't finish it. That game is like a Tim Burton Nightmare Before Christmas aesthetic, and it was really cool. And here we're getting claymation for all the models, and it looks awesome.
It's amazing, dude. The whole design of this game is just like, it's exactly what you were just saying. Like, it does remind me exactly like Tim Burton, like as if I'm literally picked up a book or something like that and I'm reading it, you know. This is like definitely the kind of like Coraline vibes that I've wanted as an adult, to like for all those like peculiar horror stories and games. Like, this is such a good vibe, man. This is definitely... I'm really never a horror person. Not a scary person. I'm not a thriller person of any kind.
I'm not a claymation person. That shit makes me uneasy.
This I would fuck with. Yeah, I got to pre-order.
Yeah, the
this,
fact
like,
that they put that into this kind of medium it's pretty cool. I'd probably try it just because like it plays at my own irks. It gives me the heebie-jeebies.
Cool. So yeah, it'll be PS5 and PSVR 2. Yeah, Hell Is Us is next. People were calling this if Dark Souls met Death Stranding.
Oh, Dark Souls Death Stranding, yeah.
And yeah, it definitely has that vibe for sure. Another Souls-light just looks so sick, man.
This kind of gives me like Metro vibes.
Yes, that too. They call it Death Stranding because like there are some weird enemies, and then the main character's like default armor just looks like Sam's normal outfit.
It looks like a mule.
Is that what Sam is? He's considered a mule?
No, mules are people that got addicted to likes, so they steal packages from porters.
This also reminds me of The Surge.
I was just gonna say that too. Yeah, big time with the drone.
I also love like as I was watching this, is like, oh, this is like a weird dystopian place with like these creatures, and then you have a drone and an iPad. I'm like, you know what? Who cares? Who cares? This works, man.
I like all the different weapons that you can make. You can make like a big war axe. You can make dual axes. You can make a huge greatsword or a regular sword.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it does big time remind me of The Surge.
The next thing they showed off was bigger look at Metro Awakening, the new VR game for the franchise. I just wish it wasn't VR.
Damn, I wish I should have hopped on the Metro train.
It's not too late.
Yeah, the remasters are excellent. They put a lot of work into like the environment and how it looks, and they're always on sale.
I don't think those games have like bosses, do they? They're more just like
exploration.
Like
there's kind of bosses. Yeah, I got fucked in Last Light, where I was up in the surface and I was up there for too long, and I just got done fighting a monster in his arena, and then I started suffocating, and I kept dying like shortly after the checkpoint. Like I was just like Sisyphus, just stuck.
Did you have to like preload an older save and like?
But not
I think that's what I had to do, because it has the autosaves, so I just had to go back like a few minutes and just beeline straight to the next area to get more canisters. So yeah, Metro's awesome, dude. It's totally worth it. I know on PlayStation, they have the Redux, which is both the first two games. They're bundled, or you can get them separately, and when they're separate, they're like $4 each on sale. After that, another cool game, Arc Age Chronicles.
I'm not gonna lie, when what kind of game is it gonna be? It's an MMO, is it? It feels like an MMO.
No.
It kind of looks like it from right there. Yeah, like you see like other characters coming in to craft.
No, but it looks insane with the combat and all that. It gives me kind of a For Honor vibes.
Yeah, you get 3 different characters. It's kind of, all the gameplay these days kind of gives you, like a Souls vibe. But essentially, you're just...
So it looks like there's boss arenas where you can fight people, and then there's like PvP arenas.
Yeah, this looks insane. It reminds me of Dragon's Dogma, kind of mixed in with some.
So definitely more Souls.
Yeah, mixed in with some kind of Souls that tactic. He parried. You saw that?
I guess Souls. Yeah, I mean just action. Amidst the lawsuit announcements, Power World said, "We're going to PlayStation, man. Who cares?
Fuck it."
And it's out now.
It's $30.
Which is, you know what? That's pretty good.
Hey, you know what? That's half of what Pokemon games are worth.
Right. And it's on the PlayStation.
I don't really understand the scope of why you would catch like rare and legendaries. Like if they all basically do the same thing, I guess.
It's for like the efficiency of like the work you have to do back at your base.
Yeah, I never really got into the game to know is like, am I producing shit to sell? Like, is the point of me making money to do what with my money?
You have your base, and then it can get attacked in waves. And so what you're doing is you're getting your pals, and then you're crafting stuff, getting your defenses up, getting food, because there's a survival aspect to it as well. So it's just like all of that is just entwined, and then you just have Pokemon with you. And guns, of course. Like I said, Pocket Pair is being sued by Nintendo. Honestly, all I could think of is the similarities between the pals and Pokemon. Outside of that, I don't think Nintendo really has anything on them.
I think on Twitter I saw that the guy who manages Pokemon website, Cerebi, he's following it super close. And that's where I was talking about last time. I read a little bit about what was happening, and I think the lawsuit has to do something with basically the infringement of the idea. So
I have it right here. So they filed in the Tokyo District Court that this is a patent infringement lawsuit seeking compensation for damages on the grounds that Pal World infringes on multiple patent rights, which would be, Pokemon designs. I believe this is halting the release in Japan for PlayStation. I think they'll be fine. Like you mentioned last night, Oscar, yeah, Nintendo, they got the money for the good lawyers. This could go on for a good while. We'll see.
One of the things that I was reading by the guy on Cerebi is it took a lawsuit that they filed in 2020 that finally got resolved this year for another game that they also claimed against and got taken down. So that's like at least 3 or 4 years where the game was still basically, active and online. So we'll see how far along this goes. But hopefully, and I do say hopefully because, come on, Pal World is pretty, it's a pretty good game. We get a lot of time with this game, and we'll see what kind of things that they develop along the way for this game in the next few years.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Game Freak. I'm sorry you guys can't make good running games.
The day that they announce a new game that's not a Pokemon franchise is the day where we're gonna get the two different sides of the room coming together all at once. Get the real dedicated Game Freaks. You're not making another Pokemon game. This game is gonna be fucking trash. This is bullshit. And then there's the other people who are going to be like, oh, we'll give anything a try because we love Game Freak.
Oh, I hate to break it to you, bud, but they did come out with a non-Pokemon game recently, and everyone hated it.
Or what was it called?
It was called Little Town Hero.
With the power of ideas.
Yo, is this rock, paper, scissors?
This is what they can do outside of Pokemon, guys.
If their goal was to make a children's game, because it is rated E, why did I have more questions by the end of this trailer with how fucking complex this gameplay looked to me?
Yep.
That shit did not look simplified at all from what Pokemon was.
What the fuck is all this?
There are numbers involved. There are colors involved. I see an exclamation mark at the top that basically tells me I can struggle. I have my health bar below. I have BP. I have POW. What the fuck does all of that mean?
All break. Environment, headspace.
The Allspark.
Dude. Okay, now I'm done. Can we go?
After Pal World, they showed off a remaster for the anniversary for Lunar. This was a JRPG back on the PS1 era or something.
Yeah.
That's cool. I'm sure there is a fan base for this.
There's a place in my heart for these.
Oh, I didn't notice there was voice acting when I watched this the first time.
This is so anime intro.
It's so of the era, yeah. After that, we got an update for Shredder's Revenge, the new DLC stuff. This game looks fun. I've only heard good things about it. A rad lizard on a skateboard
Mondo
and
Gecko,
then a turtle waifu.
Mona Lisa.
These are OC?
Yeah, no.
These are OC, right?
Man. No.
Okay, I thought they were going to be a crossover or something like that from another show. Or
Mona Lisa appeared in one episode of the 80s cartoon as a potential love interest for Raph.
I remember that.
Mondo Gecko also appeared in the 80s cartoon and was a regular reoccurring character in the comics.
Yes. Did you guys watch Turtle Mayhem or Mutant Mayhem?
No, I did not.
Mondo is in there. They changed him. He's blue. But yeah, he's such a chill dude. And in the movie, he's voiced by Paul Rudd. It's fucking perfect.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah, that game just looks crazy. It's awesome. And what's more awesome than that, dude? More DLC for Sonic Shadow, and it's a fucking movie pack. And what does that mean, guys? Keanu Reeves.
This just made me need to buy Generations.
The only thing that makes this literally takes it from 10 to 11 is if they also announced a free collab where you get to choose a quick costume with Shadow the Hedgehog where he looks like Johnny Silverhand from Cyberpunk.
That'd be good. Yeah, the mods are gonna go crazy for this. And then we're gonna get that clip of him saying "nice cock." There was a cool like a cinematic trailer for it too, right?
I think it's Feel the Rush. That's what it's called. There's a story one, and then there's Feel the Rush. Yeah, this was really radical. It really does bring me back to like the good old days where we get like the really awesome Sonic stages, you know,
Music.
like DX2. I'm sorry, like Adventure and Adventure 2.
And you get the tracks from Shadow the Hedgehog game. If Shadow were a Tekken character, who would he be? Don't say Devil Jin.
He's obviously Devil Jin right there. With those wings. Come on.
He's a fucking alien, dude. He's Yoshimitsu.
All right, harder question. If he were a waifu, who would he be? Waifu in Tekken.
Reina.
Okay, yeah, you're right.
October 22nd is the full release for the game, and the DLC is in December, which I think that's like right around the same time as the movie coming out, so it kind of ties in perfectly.
I want to see all of this, dude. Fucking Team Dark, bro. Oh man, yeah. I gotta get this shit
dude,
already,
this
man.
looks sick,
That's what I'm saying,
man.
dude. You fight Emerald, bro. It's so over, dude. They're bringing back everybody. Oh wait, was that a fucking wait? That's a gun tank, so they're gonna be fighting the fucking army. Anyway,
we got another look at Fantasia New Dimension, and we got the release date December 5th.
This is from the original creator of Final Fantasy. One of the things that I really like about this is supposed to be a port. Like, this wasn't the original.
Oh.
But one of the things that's really cool is there's they mentioned that like all of the environments, they're like handmade dioramas.
Oh, okay.
So like all of
cool.
the battle, if you pay attention, yeah, like really look at the background.
Oh,
look at that
yeah.
shit, dude. That's so fucking cash. I'm not gonna lie to you. Your character is just a tiny little blip that moves around all of it.
Sorry, it's kind of like AR in a sense.
I think so. And in that way, it makes me think like the characters themselves, the game itself, it didn't really look like that appealing to me. Not to say like if I had a gun to my head or anything, but I would definitely pick this up to take a look at the environment and definitely play the game. You know, like I would imagine that this game is one of those games where it's going to have like a difficulty setting in case you just want to be one of those people that wants to see like the game for all of the designs and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And I definitely think that would pick it up for that.
Freaking physical props in video games now.
We got claymation. We got dioramas.
Mm-hmm.
It's awesome.
It's so good.
Practical
effects. Just keep playing it, dude.
Bro, we're just trying things, and I'm so here for it.
After that, we got a look at a boss fight in the new Dragon Age game, which is dropping on Halloween. I'm liking it. I never played Dragon Age.
I think I played the second Dragon Age back when it came out, like when it first came out when we were still kids. A little bit of it kind of reminds me of what the gameplay was, but I think it's definitely evolved a lot more since then.
Dude, so the commands you could set, they can combo with your own spells.
That's really cool.
Is that your dragon?
Is that fucking Theo Vaughn?
We're getting comedians in video games now for Shane Gillis. Let's go, dude.
Yeah, Shane Gillis is in Warhammer.
Awesome.
And you know, I like the cinematics for this game.
Yeah.
You know, it's not running in real time. These are pre-rendered and they look good. I mean, yeah, despite like everyone being mad at the game for the character customization, it still looks fun. And then we got a teaser for the next expansion for Alan Wake 2, The Lake House. This is also coming out in October. I don't know what's going on, but it looks fucking cool.
Yeah, I never really know what's going on with Alan Wake. It's one of those things where you gotta actually play it.
Dude, this reminds me of Control. Oh, that's right. It's the same universe. Federal Bureau of Containment. That is Control.
Control's part of the Alan Wake universe.
I know, but what I'm saying is like more than likely this DLC is going to end up having you go into the Bureau.
I do want to get into the series. There's actually a tie-in book too that I want to check out. And then yeah, you got to play Control. Yeah, and then Alan Wake 2 just sounds like an amazing game. Like it's so ambitious, it's crazy. And then after that, we got another look at a remaster, Legacy of Kain, Soul Reaver 1 and 2. December 10th it's releasing. And, you know, I've never played these games, but as soon as I saw the main character you play as, I was like, oh, I know this guy. This guy looks cool.
Yeah.
I didn't know Homeboy didn't have a jaw.
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
That's cool.
This is a game I definitely did not get a chance to get into in my childhood.
And then after that, they kind of like transition. Like, yeah, speaking of PlayStation 1, Fear the Spotlight, you know, a fake PlayStation 1 game. We saw this at Summer Games Fest, yeah, from Blumhouse Games.
Honestly, though, this looks sick. Like, I would pick this up.
This is what I've been waiting for. Like, sure, we all love the SNES and, like, that era. but it's time to get to the low poly shit.
We've upgraded so much. We're like at ray tracing, and then fucking what else? What's next? You know, like we can do some good things with fucking like poly graphics. The industry are pretty much masters at like the low tech, low grade stuff. Hopefully,
exactly. Like Bloodborne Demake, you know, look how good
yeah.
that is. That probably can't actually run on a PlayStation 1. But we're not being held back by the hardware anymore, so we could really bring out the full potential. October 22nd, it's coming out. Yeah, and after that, like we talked about earlier, yeah, Dynasty Warriors Origins, January 17th, it's releasing. And yeah, it looks so good, man. Like, even the boss fights look fun. And I do see what you mean about, like, more cinematic, in a sense, Oscar. 'Cause, like, the camera's way closer now.
Ooh, you got all the favorites.
The whole gimmick at first for Dynasty Warriors was that you were able to be all these different characters, these different heroes from like the old lore. Now all of a sudden, not all of a sudden, but with the continuing progression of the series, they had to find new things to bring you back in. Mm-hmm. And so part of those things were like, oh, okay, we're going to add multiple characters to your roster. So in battle, you can switch between characters and kind of play that way. So when it's coming, like, how we can, like, chain combos together and stuff, you get, like, team specials and stuff. So that's, like, now it's of course, it would make sense to go back full circle. And like what I was saying earlier, like, having the whole cinematic thing would make sense for a single-player franchise. You're wanting to steer this away from the open sandbox. Not open sandbox, but from the beat 'em up sandbox, and make it into more of a, like, I would say, like an action. These missions are gonna need to take up more of your time. These missions are usually done in like anywhere between like 10 and 20 minutes. So the game realistically could be beaten in like probably a day.
Just the Pirate Warrior games alone, like, you see the advancement of what they're trying to do. God, man, Pirate Warriors 4 was so good.
I did like Pirate Warriors. That was a good one. I like the Gundam series too. I just wish that they would have done more for Pirate Warriors. How far did 4 even get to?
Well, so when it came out was when the anime was getting into Wano. So what they decided was to make their own original story, which doesn't get too crazy or too dense. It's just enough for like a video game, boss fight where you fight Kaido at the end. You get an ultimate move that's like its own original thing. When you enter Gear 2nd and Gear 4th, you really feel like you're in those gears. Then after that, we got another trailer for Monster Hunter Wilds with the release date of February 28th, the same day as the Majima game. I think it was actually after this. They were talking about the PS5. I didn't watch. I kind of just skipped that part, but I'm assuming like all the colors are like shells. Yeah. And, last episode also mentioned the continuous cycle PlayStation's in the It's So Over, We're So Back. And yeah, we got the trailer for Horizon Zero Dawn Remastered for PlayStation 5 and Steam. And again, yeah, who asked for this? Don't know. I mean, they did do some things, like I guess they recorded new audio. I don't remember why they did it. Oh, that's right, 3D audio support.
Haptic feedback supported. Can I be honest with you? I don't fucking use haptic feedback that often, dude.
Well, a lot of games don't have it, though.
True. Most shooters do. It fucks up your aim a lot.
Yeah, it's more realistic, bro.
Yeah, well, I like to win.
Oh, new conversations. So there's new content.
They added mocap conversations.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, that's right, because when you talk to a character, they just stand there and do their idle animation. Nice. And then I didn't write it down earlier, but yeah, they showed off the Lego Horizon game, and my only thought was, I'd probably like this game, but then I remembered it's Horizon. The next thing we did was an update for Stellar Blade. I never heard of this before, but they're updating the photo mode for it. And then, yeah, crazy enough, Nier Automata crossover DLC. I guess we're just doing a level in Nier.
Isn't this like the base game, or doesn't the game already look like that?
No, that looks like Nier.
So maybe there is going to be a Nier level. I thought it was just going to be like a cosmetic.
You're going to get the outfit for sure.
The robot gets updated too, I think. I think that's the robot.
That's the robot from Nier right there. I mean, hey, that's really cool. It is just the Korean Nier Automata, and the creator of Nier likes the game. So this is, no-brainer. And then, man, we ended the State of Play with a banger. Cinematic announcement trailer for the new Ghost game, Ghost of Yotei.
Is this a sequel?
Yes.
This is a sequel. It's not a direct sequel, so I love it. This is a good time, fellas. I know that you guys got it. I know. Fuck what's on your list. Fuck whatever's on your list, dude. Just play the game. There's a lot to cover in this game. Like, you will spend some time playing this game. So whenever you decide to start, and
Yeah, that's why I haven't played, because it's a massive game.
I'm really looking forward to the new environments that you're in.
Do you remember what year Tsushima's based in?
It's supposed to be 300 years before this, so I think it was
Jesus.
like 1300s.
Okay.
Blue-eyed samurai, here we come.
And it's so funny that this trailer came out when it did, because right before the state of play, I think like a day or so, Ubisoft announced that they're canceling their presentation. And then they posted today that, hey guys, we're going to delay the game to next year in February because we're going to work on some stuff here and there. And it's like, yeah, you just got mocked, bro. Yeah, and that was it for state of play, man. Pretty solid. Like, finally.
There are some other things that I don't think that we did talk about. There is a couple of games that got released this week I thought were pretty cool. One of them is called Bloomtown. Bloomtown, A Different Story. This kind of gave me like an Earthbound vibe, and then it kind of gets into like a Persona vibe, or I guess like a Devil Survivor vibe. I'm a big fan of pixel designs. It looks super fleshed out for a bit game. The next game that I saw was pretty cool. This game also released yesterday. It's called Control Alt Ego. It reminds me of like a puzzle type game. The game is kind of cool because it lets you like take things over. There's like a couple of different ways that you can kind of progress through the game, whether it's more of like a sneak tactic or just a all-out assault tactic. They also came out with a trailer for a game called Beyond Galaxyland. This game looks pretty badass.
Oh, I have seen this game. Yeah, I like the style for it and the way the like all the animation and the camera angles are pretty fun.
Yeah. I have a feeling like this is one of those games that would take the turn-based aspect of fighting, add the cinemas during the actual fights, and kind of make it like really wild and crazy, especially when it comes to these really giant, intense space fights that it looks like we're going to get. I think this is just me, but like when I look at this, I was like, this is like a Hotline Miami RPG.
Yeah, I can see the similar aesthetics to it.
If you guys haven't already seen it, a character trailer for Bleach Rebirth of Souls. They announced Zaraki.
Kenpachi? Yeah.
Yeah, buddy. This guy really turned it around for me. I was kind of a little skeptical on the way that it was going to work with with like the Konpaki and the just the way that you fight now when it's not direct health bars or something like that.
Yeah, I haven't looked at anything in this game at all. I just saw like Kubo was playing it, and he whooped whoever he was fighting against.
If they make DLC for this game, they'll release like 1,000-year Blood War characters. We'll get Kenpachi with his Bankai.
I'm sure we're gonna have some in the game already since Core 3's coming out soon. Yeah, this game looks cool. I'm just waiting for Sparking Zero to come out.
I think you guys might enjoy this. There was I think you saw it a little bit yesterday, Gerry. Mind Seas. So we got a Metroidvania type. And I say it reminds me of The Surge because we got a little drone following you. You're in a wheelchair. The only thing we're missing is a boss fight with nanosites. Aside from that, there were a couple of other things that were announced. We don't really need to go into it. They announced a game. They announced a beat-em-up game, the Karate Kid Street Rumble.
Yeah, I took a peek at the trailer. Deep cuts in this. Was surprised. It's cool they're finally coming out with this. Cobra Kai has been so popular. Yeah, so I don't know if you saw that team right there, but we got Daniel Russo, Mr. Miyagi, the waifu from Karate Kid 2 when they go to Japan, and then you have the girl in Karate Kid 4. That's crazy.
You know what? I actually like that movie.
Karate Kid 4?
The Karate Kid 4.
Never seen it.
I saw that fucking movie more times than I saw any of the other Karate Kid movies.
We're just missing Jaden Smith, man. Where's he at?
He's gonna be DLC for sure.
Oh, for sure is a bold statement. Though I'm surprised. It's the old generation. There's no Cobra Kai people yet, which is probably DLC, I would imagine.
If you guys were interested in increasing the storage for your PlayStation, Western Digital, they have an SSD for the PlayStation 5, and they just released a new one. The latest model that they just released, an 8TB SSD. It almost sounds too good to be true, because when I saw this, I was like, there's no way that the PS5 would even support this yet.
Why wouldn't it?
Well, because there has to be updates. Stuff like thumb drives come out when they hold like higher storage and things like that. There are usually like drives and stuff involved that would make it so that like any operating system can like actually read the storage drive. This fucking 8TB SSD is $1,000. That's fucking wild, dude. It's worth more than the PS Pro.
All right, guys, we got some emails, or we have an email, actually. unversedpodcast@gmail.com. If you have any questions or comments, you can send it right to us, and yeah, we'll absolutely bring it on the show. We got one today again from the boy Mark, so thank you as always. So he brings up that on YouTube, there will be official channels where they'll post movies and old TV shows that you can watch for free. For movies, like, they'll come with free ads. But I know for the most part, like, they'll do, like, little promos where just they'll drop the whole season of shows and then it's just free to watch. I only knew that for anime, like when Yu Yu Hakusho Season 1 and Samurai Champloo, they just threw it out there for a good while. I was like, oh, that's awesome. And so and then he brings up that he used to watch Monk back in the day when it aired on TNT.
Nice.
I remember watching that show too. Yeah, that's a classic
show.
Classic banger. I don't know if you guys know this, just a quick sidetrack. On Peacock, I think it is, or Paramount, the Monk movie came out last year. Yeah, Monk's Last Case.
Man, did you ever see the... Never mind, let's just keep going.
Yeah, it gets sad. Yeah. Anyways, he's like, now as an adult watching the show, it's awesome. There is a story, but his main takeaway from it is just solving cases, his daily life. You know, it's a slice of life mystery series. And so he asks, do you mind a premise where a show or game is just the daily life of activities of the characters? Or do you need a story to hook you? It kind of depends. I like slice of life. Like last episode, we talked about rom-coms. Majority of that is just slice of life. Yeah, it's a good time. You just get to see like your favorite characters just hanging out and stuff and doing things. But I think there has to be a point where you have to have at least like a main plot line that's somewhere. I think the best example is kind of like with Cowboy Bebop, where a lot of that show is just slice of life of just these older people who's already had their lives, and you know, there's some cool wacky moments here and there, but then every now and then they sprinkle in the plot with Spike, and then like that catches your interest again and gets you more involved. I think if you have like that kind of balance, then you're pretty good, because I don't know, like if it's just pure slice of life and it just keeps going on and like nothing is really happening, I kind of get bored.
My answer is going to be Gintama, but for you, is that how you felt? Were you bored of Gintama at times?
Yeah, just because like, and like Gintama is also one where it's pure comedy when it's not being serious. And yeah, I have some fun times with that, but then when a lot of them happen in a row and they don't all land, I just want to just keep going, and or like just hurry up and like let's get to another plot point.
There were a lot of moments like that for Gintama that I felt the same way, you know, where, you know, just for one reason or another, these jokes aren't necessarily hitting, and you know, you kind of just want to see something other than the non sequitur from what they do. We very rarely get those, like I'd say a couple times during the season, so it was something to look forward to. You guys ever seen Psych?
Oh, I remember Psych. He's the fake detective that's a psychic. Did you see they came back for like some Hulu ads or something?
Oh, I think so, yeah.
Yeah, I did. They worked on one more movie that they came out with. I don't remember where it showed up, but yeah, it was like Lassie's. Because I don't know if you remember, there was a detective in the show. Oh, fuck, man. Fuck you, man. It's a good show. Psych is definitely like Monk. Like, where every day is just kind of like, what are we going to do? We're going to solve this case, whatever. And then just them spending 50 or 40 minutes just kind of fucking off.
The whole gimmick of One Punch Man in the beginning was that he would just beat everything in one punch. Now the plot is that he can't find anything to like take his punch, and he wants to fight again. So you could feel that spark of being a hero. Something like that, probably. I could probably see myself getting into reading a manga about just some dude waking up, going to work, and coming back. Maybe like second season or part 2 would be like he's starting to get depressed or something. I don't know. You would definitely have me for one season, but after that it would have to be, I would need something, you know, like after a little bit. Like Komi-san was great for a little bit, and then you start to get to know the characters, and it became really good.
If it's just a pure slice of life and then nothing really unfolds out of it, it's probably just not good.
I would read it ironically, and then I'd be like, yeah, this is actually...
Let me give you an example of what I think a pure slice of life is. Like, to its base form, I think that this pretty much only exists, like, in cartoons. And I mean, like, American cartoons. Like, things like Ed and Eddie, with Camp Lazlo. It doesn't really matter what the fuck they're doing. You just know that they're in the cul-de-sac, or that they're at camp, and that they're just doing shit. It's always going to be something different in the same location, so it's just, there's no real continuation to it. I think if you apply this to a real show like old shows like Saved by the Bell, because that ran on for a long time before they all graduated and went off to college and stuff. I don't know, like Power Rangers. Well, Power Rangers doesn't really count.
Well, I wouldn't even count Saved by the Bell, probably. Like, if it's just the daily things and there's no plot, then that means there's just no progression. Like, nothing's happening. Like, they're just living life, and then nothing changes because of the actions of that day. Like, that's how I see, like, a pure slice of life would be. Like, you're just, oh, what's the adventure today? Like, I guess, like, Ed, Edd and Eddy would be the perfect example, because it's not like a lot of things change based on like what happens in every episode. Yeah, and if it doesn't have that stuff, then yeah, I feel like it really can't last that long as a good series, and like you would just get bored out of it already, because then you're like, okay, well, what else are they gonna do? I've already like read 200 chapters of something and they've done it all. If it's like something that like someone's doing for fun, like a Twitter manga, and it's just like every now and then they'll post a new chapter, and then you just read that, have a little chuckle, like a quick 4-page chapter, I think I'd be okay with that. Because it's not like a huge investment.
Yeah, like shorts, huh? I guess like the equivalent of like a newspaper comic strip.
Like a 4-coma, yeah. So thank you for the email, Mark. Again, that's unversedpodcast@gmail.com. Recommendation I have over here, it's an artist I found on Twitter a while back. He's also on Instagram, and I believe he's in Brazil. Yeah, he's Brazilian. So I'll promote his Instagram, because there was that whole like scare that Brazil was going to ban Twitter because of something Elon Musk said or whatever. But his name is Saurus OPNG. Popped up in my feed randomly, and immediately I was like, oh, I'm down with these vibes. His profile picture is a red circle, and so he uses that and putting over the head of like the whatever character is in his, what do you call it, in his photos. It's like rough and gritty art style, and a lot of his pieces are like collages essentially, and that's what really caught my eye, because I've been liking like collages, like getting reminiscent about them, like from like back in the day, like in the 90s ads and stuff, like how just cool it is. It's like proto Photoshop, basically, yeah. Right? Collages. That's the way I like to think about it. It just has like a nice touch. He has like themes going on with his characters. Like I mentioned, like the red circle as a head, and then he has another one that is like it's like a yellow piece, like a star, basically. The way he has contrast with a lot of his pieces, it's just really cool. He does a lot of silhouetting too with the characters, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, these look really rad. It's definitely give me that old school vibe. Grain filter that he's using over all of it to give it a kind of like a retro look.
Yeah, giving it some noise just to give more texture, so that way things aren't too flat. He even had some fun the other day he saved all of the pieces separately on his phone and then was doing the collage on the Instagram story, and I was like, oh, that's pretty fun. Been following for a good while now. And then even like looking at his older stuff, it's all like just traditional art. Just the way he's doing like colors and like the clashing dynamics and stuff. It's, yeah. So again, that is Saurus OPNG. We'll have a link in the description if you want to check out his stuff. He also has a shop for like prints and stickers and stuff, and so I'm probably going to cop some things at some point. And with that, guys, we could go ahead and get out of here, man. Thanks for listening. We'll be back next week. By the time the next episode drops, JJK will officially be over.
Yay.
So I can't wait to talk shit about that ending. And we'll see.
Why do we have to wait? Let's talk shit about it now.
I haven't read it in a little bit. Yeah, or excuse me, I haven't skimmed it in a little bit. Let's be accurate. Come on.
Let me just say, dude, there was a panel that I read. I wouldn't know how you would feel about it personally, but when I saw it, I was like, after all of this, man, there's just no fucking way. Like, there's a certain person that like is in the epilogue that you wouldn't expect. I guess some people would have expected to see it, but honestly, I was just like, okay, like, I'm already fucking done with this, so it's whatever.
All right, guys. We'll catch you later.